In closing, I just want everybody to understand something and understand it. It's real simple, okay? The reason why I stay with the Dems, okay, is because what I see in the platforms, even though it might not be manifested, and I put the manifestation of the things that are said on us because we've allowed them not to manifest them. I put it on us, but the ideals, the principles are more closely aligned with the concept of loving your neighbor as you love yourself than those of the Republicans. I can't, I've tried to figure it out or iron it out, especially since they like to tout themselves as the religious right, but it just don't add up. The reality of their actions does not add up with the religion of their faith. There's a hypocrisy there. And so as I watch Dems and as I understand the Democratic ideology, not necessarily always implemented, but that's on us because we haven't forced them to do so. But at least their head is in the right place according to what they believe in. It's more aligned with loving one another as we love ourselves. In both the Old Testament scripture and in the New Testament, we're told to love your neighbor as you love yourself, that we must love everyone just as much as we love ourselves. I like me. I love me a whole lot. But if we say that we love our neighbor, we can't allow or condone or promote anything that's going to bring harm to our neighbors. We can't do it. If we say we love our neighbor, we don't allow 33,000 Americans to die each year by gun violence, when there's clearly something that we can do. If we say we love our neighbor, we don't allow Americans in 2020 to work for a minimum wage that was barely sufficient to live off 15 years ago, the last time the federal minimum wage was raised. If we really love one another. If we say we love our neighbor, we don't let millions of people lose their health care. We don't cut or deny them health care. We don't eliminate the protections that were put in place for people with pre-existing conditions. If we say we love our neighbors. And right here in South Carolina, if we say we love our neighbor and our bragging rights are that we're dead last in the nation in education, fifth from the bottom in health care, and fifth from the top in women murdered by men, and we're consistently at the bottom of the list nationally in poverty, child mortality, diabetes, and obesity, and the only thing we're first in is tourism, I say that somebody doesn't love their neighbor as much as they love themselves, because if they did, this would not be an accurate picture of South Carolina or the America that we live in. Little preachy here right now, but the Bible encourages us with these words. It says, my little children, let us not love in word, neither in tongue, but in deed and in truth. Let us live it. Let's not talk about it. Let's be about it. When it comes to loving one another, again, we can't just talk about it. We got to be about it. And if love's work is justice, how many of you know that the work of love is justice, okay? If you really love somebody, then you're going to be about justice, okay? If love's work is justice, then we cannot turn our heads to injustice. We can't do it. If love's work is justice, we don't allow Americans to die when there's something we can do about it. If love's work is justice, we don't allow Americans to struggle to feed their families when there's something we can do about it. If love's work is justice, we don't allow the dream of a bright future for those who graduate college to be shattered and their hopes crushed to the ground by the overwhelming debt they've accumulated while working toward that dream, when there's something we can do about it. If love's work is justice, we don't allow children to be denied a quality education because their parents can't afford to send them to a certain school or because they live in the wrong zip code, when there's something we can do about it. Folks, justice demands that we do something to help our brothers and sisters if we really love them. Yes, love's work is justice, and justice must be done, not only talked about. It's crazy. For those who would continue to oppress our Native American brothers and sisters for the sake of profit, by continuing to rob them of their land. For those who would deprive the sick from receiving quality, affordable health care, and women from the right to decide for themselves what they want done with their own bodies. For those who would seek to prevent the huddled masses from entering into the safe haven of a nation that was founded, built by, and sustained by those same huddled masses that came here or were forced here. I say to you that you better pray. For those who want to prevent that, you better pray and pray hard. Pray for mercy, because you're ruining that very nation that God has shed his grace upon because of his love. A nation that will fall up under God's justice because, as the scripture said, God is love. And because he is love, he has an obligation to do justice. He cannot overlook injustice. He cannot and he will not excuse or overlook injustice. Somebody's going to pay, because love's work is justice and God is love. So folks should be aware and be afraid. So in closing tonight, I just got a twofold bottom line ask, okay? To all of those church people and politicians out there and those who make up the religious right, and I don't care which one of these religious superstars have put their seal of approval on you, to every one of you who supports the injustices that I've talked about, please quit lying to yourselves and quit talking about how much you love everybody. You don't. Please stop it. Call yourself just what you are. Y'all forgive me. A bunch of miscreants who don't love your neighbor anywhere near as much as you love yourself. And secondly, let's quit teaching our children to lie. We have got to stop teaching our children to lie. Pastor, what you mean? Well, if love's work is justice, and justice dictates that everyone, regardless of ethnicity, color of skin, religious belief, gender or orientation, or economic status, be treated equally, but that's not what we do because we only say we love others as much as we love ourselves. Let's stop teaching our children to pledge allegiance to a flag and to a nation that promises liberty and justice for all, but in reality is a nation where liberty and justice is only a catchphrase. Let's stop teaching them a lie. Until love is the order of day for all and justice is a reality for everyone in America, we need to quit teaching our children that America is one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We need to stop doing it. This is Pastor Dixon, and you might not like what I've said, but I'm not here to win friends and influence people. I'm here to tell you the truth, period. And with that being said, I got to call it a night, folks. I went a little bit longer than I anticipated. I'll be back on hopefully either tomorrow night, Sunday night, or Monday night. But like I said, these will be more frequent broadcasts coming, especially pertaining to the elections. And I hope the other side gives me more positive things to report on those who have exhibited hatred toward me and toward others and continue to classify and try to dehumanize our people out in the streets. I hope I have a favorable report to come back with and say, really, they're starting to understand that love overcomes hate. And that's the only way that we're going to win if we work together. And with that being said, I need to ask each and every one of you tonight, before you go to bed, make sure that you love on those around you. Your children, your grandchildren, your spouse, your baby mama, your baby daddy, Make sure that you tell them that you love them. Seriously. Don't argue and fuss and fight. Try love. Trust me, it works. It works. It even works with people who are not lovable. People who are not necessarily friendly toward you. When you give love, when you show love to those who don't even love you back, something happens in their hearts and they begin to change. It's not an overnight change, so you got to keep on loving. And I've chosen to do that. I've chosen to do that with each and everybody. So no matter who it is, friend, family, frenemy, no matter who it is, I'll say this in closing. I love each and every one of you all, and there's absolutely nothing that you can do about that. I love you. Y'all take care. I'll holler at you soon. Peace.